Aditi, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for agreeing to come on this show, Candid With. So, it was really nice that you agreed to come again. Actually, we had a technical glitch. We filmed this interview last week and there was some technical issue and we couldn't do. So, kindly, Aditi agreed to do this interview again. So, thank you so much, Aditi. So, Aditi, would you like
Course, like,
would you like to
yeah, sorry,
introduce?
go ahead.
Yeah, so would you like to introduce yourself?
All right. So Chinmay had me, she reached out to me. She said, I'm doing this podcast slash candid interview series, and would you want to be on it? You would be my very first guest on the show. And I was like, yes, I am excited. This was something that even I wanted to do for my channel. I was like, this is such a great opportunity to learn and grow together. So I said yes to her. I am Aditi Kadvamna. I have been a content creator for past almost 8, 9 years, almost 9 years now, and professionally, I am currently doing, like, my profession is video editing for a multinational company, and that's about it.
Yeah, so Aditi has done digital marketing and all the, like, she has studied in digital marketing aspect as well. So she'll be helping us with, like, she'll be giving knowledge about all the digital side of what goes behind the social media and whatever you see, the pages and whatever you see on social media, what goes behind that. So Aditi will be helping us with that. So Aditi has a channel and there she has wonderful vlogs, real candid vlogs and really nice content. So I'll have Aditi's channel linked down below in the description box as well so you can check it out. So Aditi, talking about your channel, I have been watching it since like 7, 8 years. So you started it when you started it when there was literally nobody in India doing it, right? So what
Yeah.
made you start it and like can you make us go through that journey and what inspired you and all that?
Yeah, first of all, great question. Great, like, it started with a bang. I started around in early 2011, and I think at that time, I just started off with my college. I had this idea. We had, luckily, I think we were one of those few people in my city who had an internet connection, because I do
Yeah.
remember having like a dial up internet connection. It was that it was back then when I actually came across YouTube and I started seeing so much content. I think the very first few videos that actually made me get onto YouTube was this creator who used to share her, like, room decor inspiration kind of video, and it just got me so pumped that, hey, this is something that I can do. Like, I personally have zero background with photography and cinematography and filming, but it was a learning experience. Like, it's just so awkward to sit down when you put a camera in front of your face, and just it just
Yeah,
feels
right.
awkward. uh, that is how it started, the awkwardness, and then eventually when you keep doing more and more and more, that is what I did. And then I eventually started learning tips and tricks and hacks behind, growing your channel and being and remaining true to yourself along the journey. So yeah, it's been a journey, 9 years. I have learned a lot over that period of time. I started back when I was in my engineering. I was pursuing my engineering, like, first, second year, and then
Yeah.
eventually I moved abroad. I studied abroad, worked abroad, came back. I've, like, pretty much documented my entire journey and process online. So that I was, at the end of the day, it's about sharing my experience, as well as hoping that somebody can relate to what I'm going through, and maybe, like, whatever I have made mistakes, maybe you should not make those same mistakes again. It's
Hmm.
basically the whole phenomenon and content of mine. Yeah.
Yeah. So you talked about how you vlogged your journey from being in engineering and now you're working. So you went abroad and you studied engineering and then you chose a different line. So altogether, this transition of yours, so how would you define, like, how are you hashtag adulting? So what is the changes that you see in yourself from that time to now?
Yeah, see, I was a kid, like I was like a spoiled brat kid who had everything you can think of. Like I have a elder sibling and a younger sibling and the middle kid. So it has always been that I was pampered, or it's just that transitioning from that to being who I am, like those are like completely two different other things that you see. Like I used to be not grateful. It was like everything was taken for granted back then. And then when I decided to move abroad to study and pursue digital marketing, it was like it changed me completely 360-degree. Everything that I took for granted here made me kick my ass and made me do it. So it was like from झाड़ू मारने से लेके पोछा करने से लेके बर्तन से लेके कपड़े, everything was pretty much done by me. And suddenly this kid who knew nothing grew up overnight, and she had to like get things done, because this is what adulting looks like. You have to take responsibilities. So yeah, I feel like back then that Aditi was little less grateful than this current Aditi, who is more mature, more grateful about whatever is going on around her. And people do so much stuff behind the scenes for you that you don't get to see. But now that I've actually done those things and I'm seeing it even in my parents, like you do realize that how much sacrifice even your parents have made to get you to this point. So yeah, I'm very grateful.
Yeah, right. Same with me. When I moved out, that is when I realized that even housework is such a huge amount of work. Like cooking your own food and all that is like, along with work, it was quite difficult to manage. And I also felt that expanding of mind and all that when I moved out. So I really think that moving out makes you grow faster.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So the course that you did in US of digital marketing, so could you brief about it? Like there might be people who are interested to pursue some kind of role in the digital media aspect. So can you brief us about it?
Yeah, definitely. So I ended up doing a diploma program. I had a choice of doing either masters or like a 8-month long course, and I ended up choosing. I knew I wasn't ready for masters after I'd done my bachelor's. So it's raining. I feel like okay, it's very windy, so I don't know if the audio would be okay. So I ended up choosing to do diploma, and I did like entrepreneurship and marketing, and that was like 4 month long course. And if you had a choice to do masters or diploma, I would still prefer you to do masters, because it has a bigger weightage on paper as compared to a diploma program. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I learned a lot, is what I can say. It wasn't that doing a diploma would make your professors be less educated than those people who are teaching you masters. Every professor I had their own business, and they were respectively somebody in their own field. So it was an amazing experience. Definitely would recommend everybody to at least once in their lifetime go abroad and to study abroad and experience what life is like there.
Okay, nice. So, what is that difference between living in India and living in US? Like, what do you like? Best thing about living in US and worst thing about living in US, you can say.
I don't see it is difficult. Best thing, you don't like, okay, so I come from like not very conservative family, but yes, like I would have to tell people and inform people, hey, I'm going here and I'm going there, this is what time I'll come back. Like I had freedom, and that like I loved the freedom that gave me, what can I say, space to do things around there. And that is something that I wasn't able to do living here. Of course, if I move right now that I live alone out in here in Mumbai, I do have enough space to do my things. But again, they kind of थोड़े से differences है living in a fully developed nation versus an economy that is still developing. Worst things about living there, I would say, is the loneliness. Eventually it creeps in no matter what. So the homesickness is unreal. The first 6 months of it you had, and then people say like if you survive 90 days, you can survive beyond that point. But for me, it was like around 6 months. That is when I actually started settling in. That okay, I am liking it. Even though I did not have a lot of friends, it was eventually the loneliness starts setting in, and you need to have. I genuinely believe that if you decide to move, maybe have a partner, just somebody to lean on. I guess, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think basically it's similar to moving out from home, right? All the weightages that you have put up, I think it's similar to moving out to a bigger city from a smaller city too.
Yeah, definitely. Especially so for somebody who never I personally have never traveled outside of India, and this was my first trip. The first trip was to San Francisco. It was even more scary. I was scared so much to the point where I started shaking and having so much anxiety about going even. But then as soon as I stepped at the airport T2 terminal, I was like, no, okay, let's do this. I was so happy.
Okay. So Aditi, you read books. I know that because I have been following your vlogs. So can you tell which is your favorite book? All-time favorite book?
Oh, that's okay. That is difficult. You know what? I'll give you a fiction and I'll give you a non-fiction self-help book.
Yeah. Okay.
This one book that absolutely was beautiful to the point where I believe everybody should read. That is the book Thief by Markus Zusak.
Okay.
Beautiful post-World War historical fiction about this young woman, and she gets adopted by this family, and just the post-war situation that happens. It's just beautiful. It's a movie bhi hai, and it's just phenomenal. And the second is, this was definitely a very turning point for me, economic-wise, monetary-wise, money-wise. It was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Cannot recommend anybody enough of this book. The amount of content and just things that I've learned is beyond. I did not know I could learn so much out of a book about money in general, and that I would recommend to everybody, no matter whatever level of finance you are on. If you are a beginner, if you just started earning, if you're somewhere middle, you've been in an industry for 5-10 years and you're still learning, or you are an expert, I would still recommend reading that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's amazing, incredible. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the recommendations, Aditi. So the next question is about your YouTube channel. So the vlogs that you put out, they are so real. I literally feel like I know you. So how do you manage to keep it so real? Because nowadays everybody on Instagram, on all kinds of social media platforms, everybody is trying to portray their life at their best, and I'm myself guilty of kind of polishing it a little bit before putting an Instagram post or something. So how do you manage to keep everything so real on YouTube, in such a big platform like YouTube?
It's just first of all, that's a really good question. I cannot seem to I've tried faking it, for a little bit, but it seems like my audience have always caught me faking it. So there's no point in being what you're not. In my personal life, I genuinely practice the art of truth telling, which is pretty rare in today's world, in today's generation. And I have to be true to myself because everybody else is pretty much taken, right? When you look at content, you see every kind of content. Like if you want to dive into, fashion, there are amazing fashion people out there online. Komal Pandey, she's like Masoom Meenawala is there, and it's so many incredible fashion bloggers. There are photographers, travelers, travel bloggers. There are Ashna Shrofe, there's Larissa, beautiful, beautiful content creators. But then, how do you set yourself different from them, right? You need to have some kind of originality. You can't lose your authenticity of who you are at the core, and then maybe take that and develop on that. But like keep it true to yourself. Like I feel like I don't want to lose myself along the path of creating something big or something new. I need to be true. And it needs to be, at the end of the day, it needs to be relatable as well to my people.
Yeah, your videos are like very relatable. We can feel all the, like, you have shown all your struggles and all, like, you have not shied away from keeping them away from the audience. So that's a very brave thing to do, I would say.
Yeah, that's something that I want to put more out, showing the vulnerable side of my life. Like I of course I can't show everything,
right.
But like I try to show as much as I can, yeah, like people seem to be loving it. Sometimes I really doubt myself about my content, but like I keep reaching out to people who know me in real life to, stay in touch with them and see if they have any feedback for me. So
yeah, okay. So Aditi, you have kept it real on your channel, and you have recently started your series about your arranged marriage story. So like whatever proposals or whatever is going on, you're just putting it out there. So this is a very relatable thing for especially Indian girls who are kind of, spoken like slowly, not really forcing, but yeah, there is this pressure on them when they turn 22, like when they are around 22 to 26 years old. So they have this pressure coming from relatives and all that about arranged marriage, and they have no clue how to deal with it. And you are showing here like what you are going through, like what you have done. So how did this idea come about, and like how do you feel about it? Don't you feel vulnerable because there are actually people who in real life watching those videos?
Yeah, so they're like, okay, so there are a couple of points I would say. Why did I start this? First of all, I did not see any content creator sharing or talking about arranged marriage.
Right.
Like it just felt like these beautiful bloggers, these beautiful YouTubers have these flawless boyfriends, and they're like just so like.
Right.
Of course, they might have chosen to show that aspect and not the less glamorous part of dating, but it just seemed so perfect that I wanted to see and show the real side of dating and the real side of arranged marriage, basically. So that is when this thing happened, I was like, you know what, I do want to share it, but I don't know how the audience will accept it or take it, because my channel have been a lot of blogging and a lot of beauty content. This was something beyond what I have done so far. So I might even lose my audience, the current view, whatever I have. There was a lot of chance of that. But like, I was like, you know what, this is what has been going on in my life currently, and I cannot like shy away from it that, hey, suddenly I'll jump up and say, oh, hey, okay, I'm getting married. And then that's like, I don't want people to be out of loop of what is going on currently in my life. And that is how I decided, you know what, maybe let's like put one video and see kya hota hai. If people don't like it, okay, done, we're done with it, we won't talk further, we'll just private the video and call it a day. But then people like started commenting and reaching out personally to me on my Instagram DMs, which kind of shocked me in reality, because these people have been my school friends and they started reaching out, which was even more hilarious. Like, I understand that people who are watching my content, my subscribers, they reaching out, they commenting, you know, I understand that people, but these school friends of mine were reaching out, and just absolutely I was blown away with the response. The first video was absolutely like, I had to be so real with my videos that after just after filming it, I was like shaking with so much anxiety.
Oh my God, yeah.
I knew the amount of like this is serious. Like I didn't understand the seriousness of the situation, that I said yes to arrange marriage, and I was 26 and 27 now. Last year I said yes. So I it just didn't fathom me ki actually ho raha hai, and just set when the reality and the truth set in, I actually started shaking after that first video, that what happened. And then I was like, okay, no, I still have to push and keep going, because this was completely out of my comfort zone. So I did it, and people seem to be loving it.
Yeah.
Yes, there are a few drawbacks, of course, where people actually saw it, or if there is this ladka wala, they would, of course, the first thing anybody would do is search you on Instagram, or search you on Twitter, or wherever, you know, online. And one of them did come across one of my videos, and that lady was like, I'm sorry, your daughter is very bubbly for my son, and that this won't work out. And I was like, wow, like half of the time you should, like, I don't know, like people should not, I genuinely believe that you should not believe everything you see. Mera genuinely aisa man.
Yeah.
So it was a heck of a journey. I'm still on a search for the guy. So the series is still on, and arrangement. Come check me out on my channel.
Yeah, that's a very interesting series. If any of you are interested, you should definitely watch it, and you should watch it in the chronological order itself. Only then you will get the gist of it. You should watch it from first video.
Yeah. Mr. A. So it starts from Mr. A, B, X, T, D. I think there's like 4 or 5 episodes. You just check it out. It's a binge watching fun kind of content. Just check it out.
It is. Yeah. So your family knows about this series, right? How did they react to it? They were fine with it?
I don't. Honestly, they've not come up to me and said ki bhai, see, we are not okay with this. So even if they've seen it, I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. So we are almost at the end of the interview, and I would like to ask you to share some tips for any upcoming YouTubers or any people who also want to go into digital side of the social media thing. Not in front and like doing all the things back end. So you have any tips for them?
I see, if you want to be a YouTuber, be that. Right? Pehle, we did not have these many choices. Pehle, it was like you can be only doctor or engineer or lawyer. These were like 3 options that we had. But I feel like with this YouTube window, it had opened up infinite opportunities. So if you want to be a YouTuber, do it. No worries about that. Of course, it may or may not pay you. There are certain things that you do need to research and understand about monetization on YouTube. Just stay authentic to yourself. No matter what people say, people will always have something to say. So always. If it's good, if it's bad, whatever it is. If you have thick skin, do it. If you don't, then you should do it. Put in double the energy and double whatever, everything, and do it. Still do it. I feel like it's worth it. Like it's a journey that you should take for it. Like just go for it. And if you're still like if you're not sure, okay, maybe I want to do YouTube, so come intern for me, or or go intern for these big YouTubers out there. There's Ranveer Alabadia, Beer Bicep ho gaya. There's like Ashna Shroff. You can Larissa D'Souza. There's so many. Malika, I forgot her name.
Malika Dua.
Was it? Oh my god, I forgot her name.
Malika
There's
Dua.
Sejal Kumar. All of these. Malika ही था उसका नाम, सितवानी.
अच्छा, मालविका सितलानी.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my God, she's a great Malvika. Sorry,
Yeah.
Shreya Jain hogi. Like reach out to these big content creators. Just whoever you love watching personally, reach out to them, write them an email, tell them I'm willing to work for free. If YouTube is something that you want to do, so that behind the scene you get to understand कि कितना hard work जाता है to build a channel and to build the audience and the content. So yeah, check them out. I feel like they're always looking out for interns, so you can just DM them, hey, I'm so and so, and I'm willing to work for free. जब भी whatever times available you are, write them, DM them. DMs always work. ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं है. I once reached out somebody on DM and she had like 500,000. She was California की biggest plus size fashion blogger थी वो. And I DM'd her and she had like over half. There's so many monkeys going on. There's like seriously. She had like 500,000 followers on her Instagram, and I was shocked that she actually responded to my Instagram DM. So I just DM'd her, and yeah, it was shocking. So just reach out to them, see what they say. That is how you go about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This monkey is gonna kill me.
Makki is the second guest on the channel.
Oh God.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Aditi, for doing this, and thank you for doing this again because of last week's technical issues. So I would
Oh my.
like if anybody is watching the video, like I would urge you to check out Aditi's channel. She has really nice vlogs and really nice real content. You can totally relate with her, and then you can also ping her to get some insights on anything related to digital media and marketing and all that. So she'll definitely be helpful to you in this regard, right, Aditi?
Yeah. Feel free to reach out to me. LinkedIn, I think LinkedIn is the best place to reach out if you have like those questions. Or follow me, social media, everything she will be mentioning. My name is Aditi Katabamna. You can Google me if that is how I introduce myself. Google me. You'll find everything.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Aditi, for doing this.
Yeah.
So she is my first guest on the show, and I'm really grateful to you.
Yay! I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, bye.